Hi, welcome to this very short video on data visualization, what it is and why you might want to use data visualization in your work and your research. So we'll start off with the first question, what is data visualization? And I often use this image to try and describe data visualization. So just to quickly explain it, on the left is a representation of a cloud of data, which you want to somehow represent to someone to understand what the data is about, what the patterns in the data are, what the meaning of the data is. That data streams to a computer system which will do the visualization work. And the visualization work is a number of things. One is to summarize the data. One is to represent it in geometry and represent it in colors and animations. And finally, to render it so that there are pictures on a display screen, usually electronic display screen. And the display screen will generate light. And that light, optical electromagnetic radiation, will travel across space and can be seen and perceived by the human eye. The person seeing it will process it, will think about it, use their visual cognition systems to come up with understanding and ideas and decisions about the data. And one of the important things here is that you need to spend quite some time understanding how the human visual system and cognition system works in order to know what pictures to draw on the screen on the left. Another important thing at the moment in data science is the data gap. There is a huge gap between the amount of data we can gather and the amount of data that a human being can understand at any one point in time. And be able to understand how to summarize data, to match it to a human capacity to perceive and think about data is an important thing. This big data gap is just getting bigger every year, but humans will always need to be able to access, use and compare data. You can't automate away the need for human involvement in decisions about data. So why use data visualization at all? In about 1800, Johann Heinrich Pestalozzi said, visual understanding is the essential and only true means of teaching how to judge things correctly. The learning of numbers and language must be definitely subordinated. Well, so who is this guy, Pestalozzi? He came up with a method of visual teaching which is still used today in some Swiss schools. And it was used in Einstein's education and changed the way he learned. And he always said when he had ideas that he needed to see them, he needed to visualize them before he could work out the maths and the details of the ideas. So there's a great history there behind why visualization is useful. More recently, in 1977, John Tukey said the greatest value of a picture is when it forces us to notice what we never expected to see. So here he's getting across some of this insight that visualization gives you into things that just looking at the numbers or the maths or the statistics you might never have noticed. The pyramid on the right there, going from data to structured information to human knowledge and wisdom, is a model of how people see and understand things. It's far from perfect, but it is quite useful as a tool to think about the processes for visualization. And if you want to understand visualization, one way to think about it is that it's a process that helps accelerate the human understanding of data. It helps make it more accurate and it helps you understand data more quickly. And if we have a goal in visualization, perhaps it should be to make data intelligible to people. A quick look back at history, people supporting cognition using designed images. Florence Nightingale, 165 years ago, very famously drew these pictures to convince the army to put more effort into making hospitals safer, where she showed that more deaths happened in hospital than on the battlefield. And she said visualization is to affect through the eyes what we fail to convey to the public through their word-proof ears. A great quote and certainly one I like. More recently, Otto and Marie Neurath came up with the Vienna method for pictorial statistics. And they aimed this at being a universal language for conveying information about the world to people, to everyday people who might not have mathematical training but still want to understand something of the changes in the world at that time. And here's a picture of the changes in the Industrial Revolution in England. This very iconic process of visualization directly influenced the Geneva Convention on road traffic signs, and you can see its history today in every icon and every emoticon on your phone or tablet. And their famous quote is, "Words divide, but pictures unite." So I just want to leave you on a thought. Which truth are you seeing in the data? When you see a picture of data, are you seeing the data? Are you seeing a truth about the data or not? This is a short animation, and you can see what is essentially the tip of a flat-bladed screwdriver rotating in space. But depending on which direction you look at it from, which projection you look at it from, you have a very different understanding of its shape. On the base, it's possibly a lemon-shaped spinning object. On the walls, it's either a triangle or a square, depending on which direction it's facing. And you need to think about, when we draw pictures, when we analyze data, which view of the data are you seeing? Are you seeing the object itself, or are you seeing some projection and some filtering of that object? And is that filtering giving you a truth about the object, the data itself? Okay, thank you very much for listening.